Do this to get your affirmations not only to work for you, but to manifest miracles into your reality. Hi, I am Maria with I Am Maria Voss. Most of you know me from TikTok. I have over 146,000 followers on there and growing every single day. I am your favorite Greek goddess because I'm that awesome. So let's get into it. How can we tailor our affirmations to work faster for us and help us manifest miracles into our reality now? The most important part to get your affirmations to work for you is to believe that affirmations work for you. I've had a lot of people and clients and followers tell me, but affirmations don't work for me. I don't know, when I affirm, it just doesn't seem to happen. Askfirmations, whatever. Well, you have a belief it doesn't work. So let's change that belief to all techniques work for me no matter what, and my affirmations always manifest super fast. Remember, it's really important that the thing you're doing resonates for you and that you believe in it. If you don't believe in it, it's not going to work for you. There's been times in the past where I felt like affirmations didn't work for me, and I heard another fellow coach say, well, if you don't believe it's going to work, then it's not. And I thought to myself, ding, 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 hello, duh. And it's not that affirmations didn't work for me, but it didn't seem to be quite the right recipe for myself. And then after I shifted that, it's crazy because things started manifesting a lot faster. And then I even started believing, well, affirmations work even faster than anything else. The second most important component to this is, what type of affirmations are you going to do? Are you going to do affirmations, askfirmations, or maybe both? Let's talk about the differences and some of the commonalities between them. So askfirmations are when you ask yourself a question instead of affirming. It really has the same effect. It's just that some people feel better asking a question. So popular ones that you can use is, what would the version of me that has this feel? What if I had this? Or what does it feel like to be this or feel this or have this into my reality? The great thing about askfirmations is that when you ask yourself a question, your brain goes looking for the answer and starts thinking the things that you would naturally already think if you were that person now. Remember, there is always a multitude of ways that you can ask a question, so choose to tailor your question to what works best for you. Now let's talk about affirmations. What are they? And different ways you can create affirmations in your reality. Affirmation is a declared statement, something we're trying to think on purpose. It's not an actual thought. I've heard coaches say that affirmations are thoughts. To me, they're not, because we are consciously doing them. Remember, when you embody a new state and you become that version of you, those thoughts will come naturally. When we are doing it on purpose or consciously, it is always a technique to help you shift and get into that reality, which there's nothing wrong with that, but that's the difference between the two. When you're in a state or you're embodying a certain version of you and have a certain level of beliefs and self-concept, your mind naturally thinks these things because that's the state you're currently in. We're using this to help go to the reality we want to be in. And by doing this over and over again, we will get there. Affirmations can be done a multitude of ways. They can be done from the first person point of view or the third person point of view. And I know some of you are like, what are you talking about? A great example of this is when you're saying I am, that's first person, right? From your own perspective. And then you are affirmations, or if you directly called your name out. So if your name is Janice or Henry or Shiloh, you'd be like, Shiloh, you are amazing. Or you can even say, you are amazing. That would be from a third person perspective. There are different ways to play around with this. And I always think it's best to tailor to what sounds best to you, what feels good to you. I personally prefer to speak to myself as Maria, you are amazing, or you are amazing, or you are wonderful, versus I am amazing. For me, it doesn't give me the same twang. Remember, there is no right or wrong way, and we're always tailoring it to work best for you. You can go back and forth on this. You can sometimes do I am and speak to yourself directly. Even saying this is mine or that is mine is speaking directly to yourself, or this is my blah, blah, blah. And then from the third person would be You are amazing. That is Maria's guy. That is Maria's money. That is Maria's house. You can use your full name if you wanted to with your middle name. I personally would not do that because there's way too many vowels, and honestly, Greek names are really long. The next very crucial step, which I think is honestly the most important, is making them natural and normal for you. What does that actually mean? That means creating your affirmations in a way that you already naturally think and speak. Remember, we all don't think the same. Some of us like to think in multiple adjectives. Some of us are more simple. And some of us, I don't know, are from the South or just have a different perspective. And remember, it's always okay to do this in your own native language. Like for me, right? Sometimes I'll say some of my affirmations in Greek because they just resonate more. If you are born in, India or maybe Peru, or let's say you're Canadian French, right? Your first language was French. So maybe it's naturally for you to think and talk in French. Then do that. It's okay to say this in your native tongue or even in English. It doesn't matter. You can go back and forth between the two. I do it all the time. It doesn't matter. I've even said affirmations in Spanish, and Spanish is not my first language. Regardless of that, the most important aspect to making them normal and natural is thinking and speaking in a way that is normal and natural to you. I'll use some examples here so you understand what I'm talking about. So our belief systems are created by our environment, our family, our culture and society, the world that we grew up in. And there's different layers to this, like, if you're Jewish, or if you're from Ethiopia or Greece, or maybe if you're Creole, or if you're from Jamaica, or maybe you are just a Italian that grew up in New Jersey. You're going to think a little bit differently than an Italian person that lives in Italy. We are a combination of everything around us, our environment, and that has created us and helped us create our identity, and it made us take on our environment, created our belief systems. So you need to look at what you actually think about certain things, and this could be applied to relationships, money, or whatever you're trying to change, even if it's just your specific person or your specific person's parents, or your belief about why you can't get that promotion at work. I'll give you some examples. That basically means, why marry or be in a relationship with someone when you can get the goods for free? And mind you, that's not something that I ever heard because of my parents or my culture. I used to have a neighbor who was from Kentucky, and she would tell me that in a way to teach me to be a lady. So I changed it to that my milk is so amazing that men always want to buy the cow. I know, pretty funny, huh? But it always made me laugh, and it felt very natural and normal to me because that adapted to a belief that I already had in words that made sense to me. Another thing I used to hear a lot from my mother when I was younger was, it's really hard to save and really easy to spend your money. So I just believed, yeah, it's easy to spend money and twice as easy to save because I'm always making money and I'm abundantly receiving money. Another thing I used to hear a lot when I was a teenager is, men only want one thing. I later changed that to, men only want a relationship with me because I'm that awesome regardless of what they're looking for, because there's no one like me. You could add as much sassiness or king energy or owning energy to this that you want. It literally could be as simple as, I'm not valued and respected in relationships, and then you could just change it to, I am always valued and respected in all my relationships. Or it could be something like, why does every man I love leave me? And you can change it to, why does every man or woman that I'm crazy in love with 10 times more crazy in love with me and never want to leave me? I know what a lot of you are thinking. Great, Maria, in theory this sounds wonderful, but how do I actually apply this now? I know that I have to believe it and that this technique works. I write them in a way that works for me. I have to decide if I want to speak from the first or third person, and then I decide if I want to use affirmations, askfirmations, or both. So that's not all of it. There is one last very crucial step that I will talk about, which is probably the creme de la creme to all of this. Perfect. We've gone over a lot of important components, but now how do you apply it to a specific area in your life? I'll tell you exactly how to do this. I want you to get a pen and paper. So you're going to take out your notebook, and then on a piece of paper, you're going to write why I think I can't have what I want. Write that on one piece of paper. And then underneath that, I don't want you to think too hard about this. This is about whatever comes naturally into your mind. So you're going to write down why I think I can't be with Jaden, or why I think I can't be with Brandon. I wrote down some beliefs that some of you might be thinking. Remember, this is just generic to help show you how to write your affirmations for yourself in the positive. What I wrote down is, I'm not good enough. He hates me, never wants to talk to me again, and I'm too fat. So how would you change that into words that resonate for you? You would write, I am more than good enough. You would write, he absolutely loves and adores me, or he's madly in love with me, in contradiction to he hates me. There's a third party. You would change that to, I am the only person he wants to be with and no one else, no matter what. Or it doesn't matter who he's been with in the past. I'm the person he chooses for life. I wouldn't even make it about the third party, to be honest, because a lot of you get stuck there. I would just make it about, he chose me in the end. In the end, he chose me because I'm that amazing, or something along those lines. And then you would change, never wants to talk to me, loves talking to me, and never wants to get off the phone. And then I would write, I am too effing sexy. To always apply that question to your specific person, or why I think I can't have the job, or why I think I can't lose the weight, or why I think I'm not beautiful, or why I think I can't start my own business, or whatever you're trying to change in your reality. This could be applied to literally anything. Give this a try and let me know how it goes. Like and follow to learn manifesting the right way.